Okay, let's try part 3 of the story about Dr. Rusha. The story title is Fair Science. I don't know why I have to look at it every time I say it. I wrote it, but we left off where this eccentric scientist, Dr. Rusha, is leading 3 very special children through his home, and he's walking down the hall. Let's see here, go back a little bit before where I stopped. The kids jumped to catch up to him. When they were able to get close behind him, he turned around very rapidly. They literally bumped into him until unable to stop in time. "Oh, there you are," he said. "Now please, come into my lounge, a den-type relaxation room, and let's talk first and listen later, and then look before we leap." Not one of the preteens had any idea what Dr. Rusha had just said or meant, but they did know, without a doubt, this was going to be one of the weirdest days. "Sit, sit," he said, as he gestured to various strange-shaped objects. Susan tried to sit on the top edge of this U-shaped structure, and she ended up sliding down into the middle of it. Phil straddled an object that looked like a long snake. Benny wasn't sure what to make of any of this either, but he tried to make himself comfortable inside this egg-shaped thing. "Okay, let me see. Susan Climate," Susan answered Dr. Rusha with confidence. "Yes, sir, that's me," Dr. Rusha said. "Please, we're all friends here. Don't call me sir. Call me doctor." Her face showed confusion as he went on. "So, Susie," she interrupted. No, sir, doctor. I'm Susan, not Susie. I go by Susan. Susan Climate, not Susie." Dr. Rusha nodded and replied, "Ah, I see." He scratched his chin and continued, determined that this little girl was not going to interrupt him again. "Now, Susie, you invented an air conditioner that runs on its own thrust of air. The air is forced through the fan, and once it's started by an initial boost of energy, it will continue to be self-sufficiently functioning on its own. Cool, cold air. Kind of like a windmill." She began to speak, but he raised his voice and went on. "Also, I read that you found out how to run a washing machine by the force of water. Much like a water wheel. Yes, I like it. May I see it?" She didn't expect to be asked to see it, and she stammered, "Well, I didn't He clapped his hands, and his staff wheeled in both machines. She was shocked. "Let's see," he commanded, and they pulled off the sheets covering the first one. "Show me, please, Susie." "It's Susan, sir." To this end he said, "It's Dr. Sue. Now, don't waste any more time. We have others, you know, and you have 2 things, too. So show, please." Susan went to explain with words, and to this he shouted, "Show!" He then calmed himself and actually whispered, "Not show and tell, show. The show will tell all." Susan almost felt like she couldn't just show him. She thought she had to tell him, but after hearing him shout, she knew it was best to just push the on button. Dr. Rusha watched, eyes open wide. The air-conditioned machine made a little click sound, like the sound when lighting an electric gas-fed barbecue grill. Then it pushed cold air out, just as it was meant to. "Yes," said the doctor. "Now, the washing machine. Show us." Please, Susie. Please, thank you, please. Show, show, show. Susie said nothing. The staff pulled the sheet off of it, and Dr. Rusher said, Wait! Susie, does this have a guard covering the wheel in the back that spins? Susan said, Sir, Doctor, I really would like for you to call me Susan. Dr. Rusher stopped her. Susie, your name is not important here and now. It has nothing to do with this. Just answer the question. She sighed and said, No, sir, it does not. But it's in the back of it. He jumped in before she finished and said, it's doctor, not sir, and you need a guard or some type of safety covering, even though the turning gears are in the back. Show, start. Doesn't it work? He prodded. Susan pushed a button, just like she had on the AC unit, and the washing machine kicked on and kept running after that one jolt of energy. The doctor walked over and stood next to Susan, then said, Now, look at the back, Susie. She turned her head to the side, peered around the edge of the machine to see the back. Her hair got caught in the wheel and pulled her into the gears. She shrieked, Ah! And Dr. Rusha quickly pulled scissors out of a pocket on the side of his PJs and cut her hair, freeing her. You cut my hair, she yelled. I saved your life, little Susie. Wake up, little Susie, wake up, he broke into song. She was too embarrassed and too ashamed to lash back in any way, form, or fashion. Now, who is Philip Filament Ross? You're next. Show us, Dr. Rusha barked. The staff rolled in Phil's invention. Before they uncovered it, Dr. Rusha described what he knew about it. Under this sheet is a type of light bulb that, when tapped by a small hammer, has an internal chemical mixture, much like a glow stick from a rave party, that gives off a bright enough light to fill a room, and I understand it's cold to the touch. Now, before you show us, I ask one question. What happens if the bulb breaks? Philip didn't expect that question. No one ever asked me that, sir, doctor. Well, I'm asking you now. Philip admitted with some disgrace. I really don't know, doctor. The doctor gave a quick shout. Show! Then they all jumped and the sheet was pulled off. Phil picked up a tiny hammer next to the bulb and tapped it ever so lightly. It worked just as predicted. Dr. Rusha stepped over to the light and reached out and touched it. It was cold to the touch. Actually, very cold. He then unscrewed the bulb and dropped it on the ground. It broke open and the room filled with this deadly gas put off from the chemicals that were released. Dr. Rusha pulled a handkerchief out from his side pocket and masked his face. The rest of the kids choked and coughed. Ah! Yelled Susan. Benny tried to mask his face with his arm. Without hesitation or prompting, Benny grabbed what was left of the broken bulb, ran over to the window and threw it out. Then he ran to all the other windows, opening them so the gas could escape. After the tear-jerking, throat-grasping fumes cleared the room, Dr. Rusha said, Oops, and smiled. He put his hand on Phil's shoulder, looked Phil in the eyes, and said, Good job, Benny. Phil said, I'm Philip. The doctor said, Oh yeah, I know. But you, Phil, filled the room with deadly gas. So I call you Phil, and next. I call you Phil, and again, Good job, Benny. Thank you. Next, I'm going to stop right there for a moment and make it into a fourth part. I'm done making excuses for why I haven't made any videos, and why I don't like taping and the conditions and all of that, so I hope that this is going okay, and that, to, if nothing else, just family, it's enjoyable. On to part 4.